Under the cover of darkness on a brisk January night, amongst the soothing chirping of nearby crickets, a Roman man, judged middle-aged by the shaded wrinkles of his skin, stands by the edge of a shallow river. His cape of a deep crimson colour gently flaps in the calming breeze, and strewn across his face is the expression of indecision and puzzlement. Deep thoughts fill his mind on matters of splendour and glory, yet at the same time of disarray and destruction. And just as his stance appears to falter more in the direction of retreat, the man fastens the strap of his helmet, draws his sword from its scabbard, and turns to his men stood some 10 feet behind. The fellow Roman soldiers follow suit, and looking unto the man they call Caesar, take up their stance. The man for whom they recognise as one of Rome's greatest military minds and leader utters the words "Alia iacta est," the die is cast. This small yet powerful phrase signifies the end of one era and the entering of another, thus beginning the start of Caesar's civil war. Now that the die are cast against fate, Caesar and his followers pass the point of no return as their boots wade through the dark waters in front of them in the early hours of the 11th of January 49 BC. The 13th Legion cross the small Rubicon River and leave behind in their dust the border of the Cyrenaic nature of Cisalpine Gaul. Ahead the road is open, and not so distant from them lies the city of Ariminum. The army, meeting no resistance on the road, brace momentarily for retaliation, but strive onwards when no such repercussions befall them. Caesar, fully aware of the consequences for himself and his 13th Legion, awaits the first clash of this brand new war. Caesar's legion rapidly descend on Ariminum and capture the city without the need for violence. Word travels fast to the capital of the conqueror of Gaul's movements, and under the glistening stone pillars of the Curia Cornelia, aged senators clad in fine tunics anxiously debate their response to such shocking actions. The men of the Senate, rather awakened to the potential consequences of this oncoming storm, abandon the capital, including many of Caesar's arch-rival supporters, General Pompeius Magnus. It's clear that they have overestimated the potential size of Caesar's forces, and as such have left the path to Rome open. By now, with Caesar's army in a comfortable position, they progress on to capturing more Roman towns along the northeastern coast of Italy and some inland ones. As he does so, many local supporting townsfolk join him in his pursuit south towards the capital, where General Pompeius, failing to gather enough of an army to confront Caesar in time, follows suit behind many of the senators and flees southwards to Apulia. Caesar, along with General Marcus Antonius, continue their lightning pace as more and more swaths of northern Italy come into their possession. Until now, very little resistance has been felt by the invading force, but in time this is to change, as lying in wait at the fords of Corfinium is Lucius Domitius Ahenobarbus, another political rival and sworn enemy of Caesar. Upon hearing of Caesar's imminent arrival, Consul Ahenobarbus, unlike most others in the way of the legion's path, remains unaverted and hastily builds up the fort's defences. On the 15th of February, the Northern Army quickly defeat a detached cohort sent by Ahenobarbus to destroy 3 bridges west of the city before setting up a camp outside the surrounding walls. And now, with Caesar's men entrenched in their position and the fortifications strengthened, the citizens of Corfinium hold their breath as the impending siege is about to begin. In the words of Roman historian Suetonius, Julius Caesar's famous decision to cross the river Rubicon and plunge Rome into a state of war was the matter of divine intervention. He is quoted as saying, "Overtaking his cohorts at the river Rubicon, which was the boundary of his province, he paused for a while, and realizing what a step he was taking, he turned to those about him and said, 'Even yet we may draw back, but once cross yon little bridge, and the whole issue is with the sword.'" As he stood in doubt, this sign was given him. On a sudden there appeared hard by a being of wondrous stature and beauty, who sat and played upon a reed. And when not only the shepherds flocked to hear him, but many of the soldiers left their posts, and among them some of the trumpeters. The apparition snatched a trumpet from one of them, rushed to the river, and sounding the war note with mighty blast, strode to the opposite bank. Then Caesar cried, "Take we the course which the signs of the gods and the false dealings of our foes point out. The die is cast," said he. Whether a vision from the heavens or otherwise, the circumstances that led to Julius Caesar finding himself at the banks of this shallow river and the events following the siege of Corfinium are matters that will be explored in future content. If you enjoyed today's video, please consider subscribing to the channel and leaving a like and a comment with some feedback. I hope you found some interest in today's topic, and I'll see you next time.